college application season, and that means one thing. Hundreds of thousands of students all around the world are racing to complete their application essays before the deadline.
Mr. Greenberg!
What is it, student me?
Relax. I've got this under control. My main essay is a masterpiece, and my supplemental essays are strong too. All I need to do is just click that submit button and I'm done.
Congratulations, student me. But what about that other section of the Common Application? You know, the super secret section.
Super secret section?
That's right. The Common Application has another section, one that you probably haven't even thought about, and which most students leave blank. And in the next 5 minutes or so, I'm going to tell you everything about that section, and how you can utilize it to take your application to the next level and increase your chances of getting into the school of your dreams. For those of you who are new around here, I'm Nathan Greenberg, founder of Ivy League Mentors, and for the past 15 years I've worked as a college application coach, helping students earn admission to some of the most competitive universities in the world. Now, some of those students had perfect GPAs, SAT scores in the high 1500s, and impressive extracurricular involvement. But a lot of them didn't, and I think a lot of their success can be attributed to the power of their applications, and in particular, their effective use of the super secret section of the Common Application.
Will you just tell us what the section is?
I'm talking about the additional information section. And you may not have even noticed it because it's optional, and it's buried at the end of the application.
But my college counselor told me I don't need to write that section. He said it's basically just for students with really weird circumstances that require additional explanation.
A lot of people think that. The only problem is, they're wrong. Sure, if you have unusual circumstances that require additional explanation, the additional information section is a great place to put that explanation. But there are a lot of ways to use it effectively, so it's a section that you should take seriously and approach with care. Let's begin by taking a look at what the additional information section is asking. Do you wish to provide details of circumstances or qualifications not reflected in the application? You may use the space below to provide any additional information you wish to share. Any additional information. That's super broad. So no matter who you are, you probably have some additional information that could help communicate what makes you special to the people reading your application. And you're given a lot of space, 650 words. That's just as long as your main essay. So again, you'd be a fool not to use this opportunity. Now, because it's so open-ended, there are a lot of ways to use the additional information section effectively. But probably the easiest one is to use the space to elaborate on a few of your most important extracurricular experiences.
But didn't I already discuss those in the activities section?
Well, not exactly. Sure, you may have listed them in the activities section, but you only had 150 characters to explain your involvement in each. That's not even the length of a tweet, or whatever the hell it is Elon Musk wants us to be calling them these days. So there's a good chance you'll have a lot more to say about your most important activities, and the additional information section is a great place to say it. This is your chance to dig deep into the activities that matter most to you, to explain thoroughly what you did, what you learned from it, and why it all matters to you. Allow me to demonstrate how that might work. Tell me, student me, what do you consider your most impressive extracurricular experience?
I guess if I had to go with one, I'd pick Entrepreneurship Club.
I see that you were the founder and president of that organization. Here's what you wrote about it in your activities section. I founded this club by recruiting members and obtaining official club status, and led the group in developing various real startup businesses. Now that's not bad, but it doesn't make a strong impression. So let's take a look at how you could develop that in the additional information section. One experience I'd like to highlight is my role as founder and president of my school's entrepreneurship club. Just founding this club was a crash course in entrepreneurship. I had to obtain faculty sponsorship, recruit at least 10 other students to serve as members, submit a lengthy application, and defend my application before a panel of school administrators before our club was granted official club status. However, this experience was only a warm-up for the next challenge the club would face, creating our own startup businesses. Each year, I've worked with my fellow members to develop a viable business plan and bring it to fruition. Our most successful was a snow shoveling service, which we developed last year. Over the course of the first winter, we were able to generate over $1,000 in profit from this venture, after deducting expenses like shoveling supplies and payment to the shovelers. The biggest reward, however, was what we learned in the process. Shoveling is time-consuming and physically strenuous work, so we expected there would be demand for our service, but we initially lacked a good marketing strategy. Our first plan, social media, was a complete failure because our prospective clients were mostly older people who didn't use those platforms. However, when we spent an afternoon outside a local supermarket and handed out flyers face-to-face, we were able to recruit several clients quickly. Ultimately, this taught me the importance of market research and knowing one's consumer base, important lessons for an aspiring entrepreneur like myself. Now that's a compelling story, and one that's likely to catch the attention of admissions readers. The best part is that you still have 400 words remaining, which means we could talk about another activity. So tell me, student me, what's another activity you'd like to highlight?
I guess I'd go with Green Club.
I see you were president of that organization also. Here's what you wrote about it in the activities section. As club president, I led other members in organizing and running various initiatives and events related to the theme of sustainability and environmental awareness. Again, that's not bad, but it's not going to catch the attention of your readers. So let's take a look at how you could develop that in the additional information section. Another experience I'd like to highlight is my role in my school's Green Club. As president, I'm responsible for overseeing a wide range of events and initiatives, all related to the overarching goal of improving environmental sustainability. One of our most impressive accomplishments has been in reducing school food waste. While conducting an environmental audit of our school, I was disturbed to discover that our school cafeteria was throwing away over 2,000 pounds, or 3 pounds per student, of food per week. Realizing the problem, Green Club developed a two-pronged approach. First, we successfully petitioned the school to reduce the size of plates and serving utensils, to discourage students from taking large portions they would be unable to finish. Additionally, we established a partnership with a local composting company to donate spoiled food so that it could be turned into fertilizer. Through these efforts, we've managed to cut school food waste to almost zero. Although improvements like these may seem insignificant compared to the scope of problems like climate change, they've given me hope that improvement is possible if we critically examine the sustainability of our lifestyles and make small adjustments. Now, doesn't that just make the whole experience come alive? And you still have 200 words remaining, which means you probably would even have space to dive into one more activity. But instead, I'd like to give you one more option for how to use the additional information section, to draw connections between seemingly disparate events and tie them together into one cohesive narrative. Let me show you how that could be done regarding student me's experiences. Finally, I'd like to draw a connection between my interests in business and environmental science. While people often perceive economic progress and environmental sustainability as mutually exclusive goals, I believe they can go hand in hand. The popularity of products like electric vehicles and LED lights is proof that sustainable solutions can also generate profit. Furthermore, if we fail to take care of our planet, the long-term economic costs will be dire, with climate change expected to reduce per capita GDP 7% by the end of the century. Therefore, I intend to pursue a double major in college so that I can further my interests in both business and environmental science and explore the intersections between them. Ultimately, my goal is to develop the knowledge and experience necessary to create my own startup venture, with the aim of improving both efficiency and sustainability. Now that's a narrative that's going to catch the attention of admissions committees and make them think we need to admit this student. And that's really just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to utilizing the additional information section. Feel free to take a more creative approach if that's something that feels more natural to you. But what you should absolutely not be doing is leaving it blank, because competition at the most elite schools is fierce, and to get in, you'll need to do everything possible to distinguish yourself from other applicants. The additional information section is a great way to do that. But you don't just have to take my word for it. Let's see what a former admissions officer has to say on the topic. Reading applications, I was shocked to see how many students failed to distinguish themselves. Their strong academics and hard-earned personal credentials could come across as predictable and lifeless. Occasionally, I came across an additional information section that was like a cold splash of water or an electric shock. It made the student come alive. And now that you've witnessed some examples of how the additional information section can be used, you'll probably understand what she's talking about. So there's really only one question you should be asking yourself. Do you want your strong academics and hard-earned personal credentials to come across as predictable and lifeless? Or do you want them to come alive? I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, I invite you to check out my other videos on the college application process. But before you go, make sure to hit that like button. And if you feel like it, leave a comment letting me know how you've decided to use the additional information section. Thanks as always for watching, and good luck!